and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Tanya, and I'm so excited that you are here and that you decided to take time to watch this video and to come onto my channel. If you are brand new here, welcome officially. I make videos for faith-based entrepreneurs, and I sprinkle in some marriage, lifestyle videos and tips in between. And if you are a subscriber, welcome back. As you all can tell by the title of this video, I'm going to be talking about something a little bit interesting, something a little bit different, a bit of like a chit chat and life lessons that I've learned since getting married, since running a business, since moving, and all of those major life transitions. And that is knowing who you are as a woman and having strong boundaries. Let's go ahead and dive right into it. I have learned one important thing, which is understanding my identity as a woman, and in that is understanding boundaries and who I am and who I'm not. So I know that this is such a huge topic, and I'm going to do my best, as I said, to break it down so that way it's practical, because I know that this is an area that a lot of you guys, you don't really know how to navigate these really intricate and very unique encounters, and I'm going to do my best just to give you guys some helpful nuggets and gems on how you can navigate this. So one is, it's so important that as a woman you have boundaries. Specifically, if you are dating, getting married, a fiance, in any capacity, or you're also running a business, you have to have boundaries. And why you have to have boundaries is people will start to enforce and express their expectations, their desires, and their own boundaries onto you. And if you don't know any better, if you don't have a strong sense of who you are and your identity, you're just gonna accept any and everything. And I don't want you to do that. And a part of that comes from people pleasing, okay? Let me know in the comments if you are a recovering people pleaser. Let me know, because I wouldn't say that I am a people pleaser per se, but I definitely have been in many experiences, many encounters, many awkward moments where I know that this is a violation of a boundary that I have. I know that this is making me extremely uncomfortable. I know that this is a moment where I should be advocating for myself, speaking up for myself, and I'm just not going to do it because I'm afraid that people are not going to appreciate the unsolicited opinion, or that I don't have a right or don't have a voice in this situation, or I shouldn't be speaking up because I want the experience or the encounter to go well. And this is as practical and as easy as us getting our nails done or getting our hair done. And when we're sitting in those chairs, y'all, and we do not like this style, we do not like how our hair looks, it's not what we had envisioned, it's not the picture that we saw on Pinterest that we sent over to the stylist that we wanted, or we're getting our nails done, it's not the color, the design that we initially had in mind, and we're sitting there and the service is continuing and we're like so dissatisfied. We pay our good hard-earned coins and hand it over to the other person when we know within our heart of hearts that we're salty, we're annoyed, we are not okay with the service that was rendered, but we didn't want to say anything because we didn't want to come off as, you know, I know better than you, or we don't want to come off as antagonizing, annoying, irritating, doing the absolute most. We don't want to come off as that person. We don't want to be that person, that bridezilla, that person who's just doing the absolute most. And a part of getting married, y'all, you are going to be tested at almost every part of the way, where it's almost like God is like putting you in situations where you gotta learn how to advocate for yourself. You gotta learn how to use your voice, be super respectful and polite, but firm in what you are looking for and what you will not tolerate and what you will accept. And this is something that I said, if you're getting married, you likely will go through this. If you're obviously gonna be becoming a parent, you're surely gonna be going through this. If you're running a business, you will go through this as well. Let me tell you, there are 24,000 people on my Instagram page. That's a lot of people. And that means that there's a lot of people who have different opinions, and different opinions are always welcomed, but not everybody has manners. Not everybody's polite. Not everybody is respectful on the internet. We know this. We know that there's internet trolls. I've definitely experienced that. Even unprovoked, okay? Unprovoked, where people will literally do what they can to come for you, okay? And this is something that, again, if you're running an online business, you're putting yourself out there. And unfortunately, this is a reality that other women who are doing something similar to what I'm doing in business, like online coaching and in that industry, where people feel very entitled. quite frankly, people feel extremely entitled, and people feel that you owe them your left kidney and your right lung. Like, people can be extremely bold in the online space, and for a very long time I decided to hold all of that back, or accept people's disrespect, or accept complete nonsense and foolishness in the name of wanting to be liked, or in the name of not wanting to stir that pot, and in the end you're literally getting walked over. You're being taken advantage of. You have boundaries, you know that you're uncomfortable, but you're not saying anything because you don't want to speak up, because you don't know your voice. And ultimately, it also goes back to not wanting to hurt people's feelings, okay? So my advice for you is learn when to say no. And in doing so, you have to get to a place where you are comfortable with hurting people's feelings. And this was something that I learned, so many uncomfortable and hard encounters where I know that if I speak up, I'm going to be confrontational, or if I know that I advocate for myself, it may offend somebody, it may turn somebody the wrong way. And having that knowledge and that awareness, I eventually became extremely comfortable with knowing what I will accept and what I will not accept, what I will tolerate and what I will not tolerate, and what I want for myself and what I do not want to be received for me. And a part of that, as I said, is knowing who you are as a woman. So I got to that point where I know that if I say this, or if I speak up, or if I address this, or if I advocate for myself, or if I use my voice, it is going to rub somebody the wrong way. And as much as I can do it very respectfully, in love, being polite but being firm, I know that this is so going to turn somebody off. Well, I got to that point where no longer be my discomfort. It could no longer be I'm pleasing you while I'm displeased internally. It could no longer mean that you are at peace and I'm in internal conflict and turmoil with myself and my thoughts, and losing sleep and being anxious and being annoyed and being irritated because I accepted something that I knew that I didn't want, and I knew that I didn't want it, and I accepted it and I paid money for it, and I walked away and I was upset the entire time. So I got to a place within my life where if I'm getting a style done and it's a hairstyle or fits for my nails and I don't like it, I'm speaking up. I speak up. And what I've also learned by doing that is people respect you when you have boundaries. People respect you when you set, maintain, and enforce your boundaries. And I have heard that specifically word for word in business with my clients, as well as with the services that I'm paying for. So if I'm getting a style done for my hair and I'm like, yo, listen, this is not what I wanted, this is not the style that I was looking for, I'm able to just say, hey, like, this isn't exactly what I'm looking for. Can we change this? Can we modify this? Instead of getting to the end of the style, looking at the mirror and saying, oh my God, this is not what I wanted. I knew wasn't what I wanted the entire time, and there's nothing that I can do about it because I'm gonna have to pay for the service because the service is now officially deemed as rendered. Okay? So my recommendation is you have to get to a place within yourself where you're comfortable knowing that the outcome may and very likely will be negative, and you have to be at peace with that in the name of you advocating for yourself. Another point that I've learned within my 20s, running a business, all that fun stuff, is learning to say no. Okay? As I'm going still back, that there's no point of being able to please other people while you are displeased, while you are in conflict within yourself. And a part of this is learning to say no when you're enforcing your boundary, especially when it comes to avoiding burnout. Know your capacity, know your limit, know what you can accept, know what you have the time for, and know what you do not have the time for, and then learn to follow through it, saying, no, I cannot, no, I will not be able to, no, unfortunately, I cannot, I will not, and leave it right there. I also got to a point where I know that no is a full sentence. No, I cannot, no, I will not, no, I will not be there is a full sentence. No explanation is required, period. As a recovering people pleaser, you do not need to over-explain yourself to people. You are a grown woman. You are an adult. You do not need to consistently and constantly explain why it is a no. It could literally just be a no because that's what you're feeling in the moment, and you're entitled to feel how you feel in that moment. There are times where I have overcommitted in an area and I knew it wasn't the wisdom of the Lord. I knew this was not a wise decision, but because I wanted to do it, because I was afraid of the outcome of me not being there, because I was afraid of missing out, I overextended myself and I overcommitted in areas that I had no business doing, and then it leads to burnout, it leads to being frustrated, it leads to being behind, it leads to falling off, it leads to the other tasks that are more of a priority should be getting done and it's not getting done. All of those other things have a ripple effect when you continue to say yes and you do not enforce your boundaries. So again, getting very comfortable with saying no was something that I had to do specifically since getting married, since running a business, since having a team. Learning to say no. You're going to be working with other people. You're going to be blending different lives. You're going to have so many people are going to express their expectations, their opinions, their desires, their own boundaries. And it doesn't mean that you just have to swallow and accept everything that people give you. Your feelings are equally important as somebody else's feelings, as somebody else's boundaries. Your boundaries are equally important. And I really want to affirm that because, again, oftentimes I found myself and so many of you guys in these positions where you just know that this is just not it is not a good idea. And you're going to do it anyways because you're afraid of the outcome of when you do say no. So I'm challenging you to practice saying no. I'm challenging you to lean in on that inner voice that says, hey, this is not a good idea. Hey, I don't think that we can do this week. Or hey, like, you know, you're missing out on sleep. You know, there's so many different things that you have to get done around the house or the home, or you still haven't done grocery shopping and you still got to do laundry. It's not a good idea to go out tonight. Say no, pass up on the event, pass up on the offer, and make sure that you are putting yourself first in a way that honors who you are as a woman, and in a way that honors your time, honors your boundaries, and honors your desires. Again, not being selfish, not saying no just because, but saying no because you know that if you were to go, this would lead into you being burnt out, and you're only saying yes because you're afraid of the outcome of you not being there. So don't do that anymore. My last tip is have some type of backbone. I don't know how else to phrase it, but have some type of backbone where you know what you're going to accept and what you're going to tolerate. And again, all of these points sound very similar, but there are times within your life where you know that you should be advocating for yourself, or you should be speaking up for yourself, or you should not be saying anything and you should be holding your peace. And really, like, it was such an important lesson I've learned is to have some type of backbone and not just always going with the flow, even though I knew the flow wasn't what I wanted, even though I knew that the flow was something that would eventually make me irritated. Have some type of backbone. There are things that I used to do before, even 2-3 years ago, that I just will not do now. And there's just no way there's just no way in heaven or hell that's going to change my mind. I'm just not doing it. And that is me understanding my identity, understanding who I am, understanding what I will do, what I will not do, and ultimately having some type of backbone, having a solidified understanding and holistic perspective of your character, your attitude, your disposition, your behavior, and who you are as a whole. And again, keyword holistically. Okay, so this is not like having blinders on where you're stubborn, okay, and you're ruling like an iron fist, but having some type of backbone where you get to say to the world and present to society that this is who I am as a woman, this is what I will tolerate, this is what I will not tolerate, this is what I will accept, and here are the things I will not accept, and there's nothing that will come that is just going to make me flip-flop or be double-minded or just change my mind just because you said so. And that was hard to learn, okay? That was hard to learn because you want to please people. We naturally want to please people. Nobody wants to be the person that other people are ticked off off with. You want to please people. You want to be at peace with people as much as you can. And that's biblical, and yes, but not at the expense of your mental health, your mental wellness, and your overall well-being. Not at the expense for that. And this is something, as I said, that I had to learn the hard way. Having that backbone and sticking to your guns. That was another thing too, that I struggled with that, especially being an entrepreneur, specifically being a creative who is self-employed, who runs your own business, who sets your own hours, who works with the type of clients that you have. And everybody has these unique circumstances, and everybody has these unique stories as to why and why this and why that, and you want to make exceptions for this person, and then in the end you end up making exceptions for everybody, giving everybody discounts, and in the end your bills are not paid because you were just being super generous to everybody because everybody had these unique circumstances. Again, this is not me, okay? But I know that this is a lot of entrepreneurs where if you don't have a strong backbone, if you don't have a strong understanding of your identity, of who you are in your business, I'm telling y'all, it's just not gonna work. People will take advantage of you intentionally, and people will also just enforce their own boundaries for their own well-being and for their own sake while you are on the back burner suffering. I'm telling you, it is just a hot pot of mess. Trust me, take it from me, y'all. It is, if you have that inner feeling, that inner voice that says like, hey, this is not a good idea, or hey, like you should say something, you should speak up, I'm telling you, lean into that voice. I'm challenging you to speak up for yourself. If you are in the process of getting married, or you're married, or you're a fiance, or you're dating, it is so important that you have those boundaries. You are an adult and you have that power and that right and that entitlement to express also how you feel as well. Okay, you are not silent, you are not voiceless, you are not a mat that people can walk over. You have a voice, okay? And I'm challenging you to practice it, to use it. Learn to say no without explaining yourself. That is the point of this video. I hope this video has helped. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button, make sure that you do. And I will see you guys in my next video.